This content area is called Biotechnology. It's all about the science of the human body and cool technology that's helping make human lives even better. The first exhibit in every content area is going to be the exhibit that's closest to the Trailblazer entrance door. That way all the kiddos move along in an organized fashion. In biotechnology, our first exhibit is our digital microscope. It doesn't look like a traditional microscope, it's actually this right in here in my hand. The lenses are inside with lights. So when we look at the slides down here, we can pick one, and I actually picked an ant. So we can see an ant on this screen here, and you can see all of its tiny little legs and all of the hairs on its legs and its abdomen. And then let's look at the leg of a butterfly next. So if you think about a butterfly, you think about its wings, and you rarely think about how teeny tiny its little legs are. And look, you can see the tiny little hooks that it uses to latch onto things. Fun fact, when Velcro was developed, we actually looked at really tall, tiny structures that existed in nature, and we recreated them. So something cool about biotechnology is not only are we creating technology that enhances our lives, we study what's already in the natural world and apply that to new technology. So these slides are really, really fun, but one of the most interesting things that you can do with the digital microscope is actually look at your clothes, your skin. Make sure that the kiddos don't put it on their eyes or on any too gnarly cuts. We just want to make sure everything stays nice and hygienic. So I'm wearing a red cotton t-shirt, and if I put it on that t-shirt and I focus it, you can see every individual thread that's been woven in that cloth. Something that's really cool to add right at the end is that forensic scientists, those scientists that help solve big cases by looking at the teeny little details left at a crime scene, they actually make about $46,000 a year, and they get to use this cool tool like this. So our next exhibit is another microscope. This one is more of a traditional one. We have inside red blood cells for the students to look at. Be sure when they're coming up, hand them one of these handy alcohol swabs. And if they're old enough that they can do it gently, they can do it. Or if you could, just gently clean up the top. That's because they're gonna put their eye directly to it and look inside and see those red blood cells. So ask them what they see. And they should see lots and lots of little red circles. And this should be all set up before they come over, so they don't need to do any of the fine tuners. And you can put this right here. Something really fun to include is that microbiologists, they work with the tiny, tiny little organisms that you can see with the microscope. They can actually make $66,000 a year. So over here we have a collection of medical tools. We have a set of stethoscopes. So again, make sure that we use an alcohol wipe, because if we put these in our ears, we want it to be nice and clean. Just get them to rub it down. The kids can do that. Again, just make sure it ends up in that trash can. And then have them put them on their ears and listen to their heartbeat. So not only do doctors for humans use these, but veterinarians use these too, and they actually make $95,000 a year. So our next tool are digital thermometers. So they're kind of like the ones that, you know, when you're sick, you get to put in your mouth, but these actually use a laser. So to turn it on, it's really simple. You just have this button, the LED lights up, and then you can have the kids point the laser. You can see it on my hand. I'm gonna point it at this air conditioner, and it's gonna take a reading 62.5 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's lots of things that the kids can point it at. Just make sure they don't point at each other's eyes. So the career that is associated with this tool is a biomedical engineer. So they create tools that are used in medicine. If you're becoming a biomedical engineer, you can make $87,000 a year. So this exhibit in the biotechnology content area, you've probably seen before. If you've been at a doctor's office, if a nurse has checked your pulse, they may have used one of these handy little pulse oximeters. So they actually record two different types of data. They're going to show you how fast your heart is beating, and they're also going to tell you the percent of oxygen you have in your blood. So they're not very tight, they won't hurt at all. Squeeze it to open, put your finger inside, turn it on, and wait just a minute. It doesn't do it automatically. Wait just a minute and it'll tell you on the top how fast your heart is beating and below the percent of oxygen in your blood. Now, something to keep in mind is biomedical engineers who develop technology like this make about $87,000 a year. So the last exhibit in biotechnology is augmented reality anatomy. So let's break that down into two parts. Augmented reality is a little bit different than virtual reality. Virtual reality is totally created, where augmented reality uses what we see and then adds a digital overlay to enhance it or make it something that we could then learn from. And then anatomy is all of the human body parts. So we're gonna learn a little bit about the human body using augmented reality. So we have these tablets. We like to call our buddy Jack here. So we're gonna turn our tablet on, the button's here at the top. So we'll just open up our tablet, and then this app right here, it's a blue square called Virtuality, and it has a t-shirt on that looks like Jack's t-shirt, just in blue. And when we open it up, you'll see, so it's loading, but we do have everything we need right here. We have two of these tablets, so two kiddos can go at the same time. And then when the scanner opens, have them stand pretty far back. It's gonna scan the t-shirt. So right now we see what we would see with our eyes, and now we have an augmented reality digital overlay. And so we see all of the human organs. It instructs us to tap. Kiddos can usually navigate this without much instruction. It's just the nature of their exploration. So we're gonna tap on it. And now we can look at our circulatory system, our digestive system, and all of the different body systems. So let's tap on our circulatory system. Oh, cool, look at our heart beating, and we wanna go even further inside. And then if you wanna go back, all you gotta do is hit the back button and you can pick a different body system. I like to ask kids, what sort of STEM career does this make you think of? A lot of times I hear surgeon or doctor, but actually there is a 3D graphics engineering job behind this app. So somebody had to make that app and create the augmented reality that uses what we see with a digital overlay, and those engineers can actually make $68,000.